The year was 2003. Beyoncé was crazy in love, Monica was so gone, and Maya's love was like whoa. Early 2000s R&B was making its mark and taking over where 90s R&B left off. Fefe Dobson, though, wasn't about that life. She was a rocker chick and had no intention of allowing record label execs to pigeonhole her into the R&B box they assumed she belonged in. Toronto-born Felicia Lily Dobson grew up in a, quote, very angry household with a single mother and 3 siblings, all of whom are white. Her parents split before she was born. I was trying to find my identity while realizing I was different in my own household. There were moments when I felt like I didn't fit in, or I felt like my color wasn't being celebrated in my home. I didn't feel beautiful. I felt like I was comparing myself all the time. I don't blame anyone in my home for that, but that's how I felt. Her artistic journey began as a small child, performing at home in front of family members. She would later enroll in a local music school to improve her singing skills. When asked about her musical influences growing up, Fefe's list is long and diverse. Her older sister listened to many different genres and introduced Fefe to everything from Nirvana to Smashing Pumpkins. Her mother, on the other hand, preferred artists like Phil Collins and Donna Summer. One person Fefe admired more than anyone, though, was Michael Jackson. She even believed that she was him for a period of time and was devastated when she found out that she wasn't. Fefe's eventual gravitation towards and love for classic rock actually came from herself. She would begin listening to the likes of Jim Morrison and Stevie Nicks all on her own. Fefe's tastes in other aspects of her life were full of variety as well. She would often wear her mother's bell-bottoms and other vintage clothing to school. Her fashion statements definitely made her stand out amongst her peers. She began making demo tapes at the age of 11 after receiving a home karaoke machine for Christmas. Then at the age of 13, she started playing the piano and writing lyrics. Fefe's spoken openly about the fact that before she was signed, she struggled with being stereotyped as a contemporary R&B or pop singer instead of the rock musician she always wanted to be. She has her white mother of English, Irish, Dutch, and First Nations ancestry mixed with her father's Black Jamaican heritage to thank for her striking features and caramel complexion. It's the latter attribute that the music industry decided should dictate what genre she belonged in. Eventually, Fefe's talents caught the attention of Zomba Records, which would later be renamed Jive. As she was trying to find her sound and footing in the industry, she would constantly be described to producers as Brandy Spears, a cross between the R&B diva Brandy and pop princess Britney Spears, who Jive had actually signed a couple of years prior. Fefe revealed that she and the label didn't have the same vision. Then, after Fefe met the producer that she would go on to work with on her debut project, the label really dug their heels in and gave her an ultimatum. Drop that producer or the deal was off. Fefe chose to walk away from Jive. She, her producer, and manager, who also happened to be fellow Canadian artist Nelly Furtado's manager, forged ahead on their own, scheduling showcases for several recording companies. The president of Universal Music Canada showed interest in her and persuaded Island Def Jam CEO and A&R exec to come to Toronto to check her out during another showcase. 30 seconds into the first song Fefe played, she'd have multiple labels dying to work with her. 16-year-old Fefe then signed her very first record deal with Island Records. As the time neared for Fefe to make her mark on the music scene, another young Canadian artist with similar pop-rock energy popped up and blew everyone away. Avril Lavigne dropped her debut single, Complicated, in March 2002. It shot to number 1 on the Canadian Hot 100 and captured the number 2 spot on Billboard. Fefe admits that the competition did worry her. "I was like, damn it, because I thought that the vibe was similar. It was just like, man, I'm not going to compete with this girl. She's blonde, she's pretty, she's skinny. I got booty, I got my muscular legs. I thought, do my dickies even fit me that way like they fit on her?" The following year, all those worries would be put to rest when Fefe launched her career with a sound and style all her own that her fans immediately embraced. Her self-titled debut album was released in December 2003. 4 singles also dropped: Take Me Away, Everything, Don't Go, Girls and Boys, and the hit breakup anthem, Bye Bye Boyfriend. Bye bye boyfriend, it's time that I be on my way. Another poignant track that deserves some recognition is Unforgiven, in which she tells off her absent father for a childhood of broken promises. She would tell Refinery 29 in 2021 that she was an expert on two of the most typical kinds of teenage angst: heartbreak and parental frustration. I was pissed off for a lot of things when I was younger. I still have a lot of rage. A lot of rage. I never did anger management because I wrote music. That was my anger management. And at that age, I had to let it out. During much of the next year, Fefe promoted the album, performing live on TRL, appearing on numerous magazine covers, and sitting down for many in-depth interviews. She was also the opening act of Justin Timberlake's European tour. In April 2005, Fefe was nominated for 2 Juno Awards. In the spring of 2006, Fefe performed several shows around the US and began promoting her second studio album. In anticipation, 2 singles, Don't Let It Go to Your Head and This Is My Life, were released, but neither charted. The album was originally scheduled for release sometime the year before, but after complications during production, along with the poor performance of the singles, its mainstream release was cancelled, and Fefe ultimately left the label due to creative differences. The decision to shelve the project devastated Fefe, who'd also recently gone through a bad breakup. She felt like a failure and opted to move back to Toronto. Her look had changed significantly too. She cut her hair into a choppy pixie cut. That new do would later be a focal point for rumors to swirl about a never-proven beef with Rihanna over the Beijing beauty allegedly jacking Fefe's style during her Good Girl Gone Bad era. Eventually, the album, titled Sunday Love, was released independently in 2006 and later made available for digital download in 2012. Fefe eventually got her mojo back after hearing artists Miley Cyrus and Selena Gomez cover a couple tracks from Sunday Love. It triggered something in her to start writing again. Those creative differences that interfered with her last project seem to have worked themselves out since Fefe re-signed to Island during the production of her 3rd studio album. Joy, Fefe's official 2nd album, but technically her 3rd, was released in November 2010. The album was preceded by the release of 2 buzz singles, which were then followed up by the 3 top 20 official singles: Ghost, Stuttering, and Can't Breathe. 3 years later, Fefe announced that recording had begun for her 4th album. A couple of singles were released, but no album ever came to fruition. Fefe's personal life at this time was in a very good place. She would get engaged to her boyfriend, American rapper Yellow Wolf, in 2013. After a long-term on-and-off relationship, Fefe and Yellow Wolf finally married in September 2019 in Nashville, Tennessee, where they reside today. Over the next couple of years, they appeared to have gone through a major rough patch, and there was even talk of a pending divorce. For now, it seems like they're sticking together and continuing to work on their issues. In early 2022, Fefe confirmed her official return to music with the single in Love, which was released in February. It's a song Fefe says she wrote 10 years ago and is super excited to finally be able to reveal it to her fans. She promises that a brand new album is soon to follow this year as well. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and comment. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications so you won't miss any future videos. See you next time!